Good evening, Mom. Good evening, classmates. So, our another topic for today is all about the Cubism and Fauvism. So, Cubism started at year 1907 to 1914. This movement was created by Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque in Paris from 1907 to 1914. Braque and Picasso were the major artists throughout the majority of the Cubist movement. The term Cubism was first coined by Louis Vuittel after seeing the landscape of Braque painted at Elstack in 1908, calling the geometric figures in painting cubes. So, si Pablo Picasso ug si Georges Braque ang mga major artist during the Cubist movement. So, ang Cubism kuno na first niya siyang discover or na first use na siya when si Louis Vuittel nakita niya ang landscape ni Braque nga katong Elstack sa tuig 1908 nga gitawag niya ang geometric figures from the word cubism, so cubes. So the following are the influences on Cubism. First, primitive and non-Western sources. So ang primitive mao na siya ang mga art of various historical European periods and non-Western societies. Use of the term then broadened to encompass a range of non-Western art. So next, oceanic and Iberian sculpture. So one nga naka-influence Cubism is the oceanic and Iberian sculpture. Third, African art in the case of Picasso's Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. So maon ang kaning art nga naa sa kilid is the Les Demoiselles d'Avignon of Picasso, one of Picasso's painting. So, next, colonialism, imperialism. So, ang Cubism, makakita po ka ang painting, it's all about colonialism and imperialism. Then the World War I, the post-impressionism, science for Albert Einstein. So those are the things that influence Cubism.
So this is the Les Demoiselles d'Avignon of Picasso. It is painted year 1907. So this is the Les Demoiselles. So in the art we can see ng mga figures like, yes, parehang naa siya cube. So mauna siya ang one of the Picasso's painting during the Cubist movement. Overall characteristics of Cubism. First, reject that art should copy nature. So ang Cubism, dili gyud iyahang painting is dili gyud siya all about nature. Diba? Kaning dili siya kinapi sa nature. Next is reject use of traditional techniques. So, dili sa siya mogamit og mga traditional techniques na siya iyang own way on how to paint the Cubist movement. Next, emphasize two-dimensionality, geometricity. So, gi-emphasize niya ang geometric figures nga cubes. So next, reduce objects to geometric shapes and put this within a shallow space. Multiple contrasting vantage points, overlapping planes or passage, exploration of the fourth dimension or simultaneity. So Cubism consisted of two stages. First is analytical, very abstract, mostly made up of overlapping planes and geometrical figures. Then next is synthetic, tended to use new mediums such as clips from newspapers and type of paint canvas, took away all three-dimensional aspects, left from analytical. So analytical, very abstract. So mostly sa analytical kuno makakita ka mga overlapping planes. So kani siya sa kilid, mao ni siya kaning first photo, mao ni siya analytical, diba? So makita nimo nga daghan king shapes ang analytical na emphasize gyud niya ang mga kaning geometric figures nga cube. So while ang synthetic nga cubism is mga nigamit ni siya og mediums such as clips from newspaper. So ang kaning kilid is kung atong tutukan is gitar ni siya nga painting. So makita na to nga sa painting pa lang yan, guitar yung gi-emphasize, guitar yung gigamit. So gigamit siya og may nga dimensional aspects nga wala gigamit sa analytical. So dako differences ang analytical ug ang synthetic. Kaya ang analytical mas nakita nimo ang mga figures plain. So while ang synthetic nigamit siya og mga clips sa newspapers in top of paint canvas, then so nakita nimo nga unsa ang iyahang message. So nigamit siya og things. Analytical Cubism. So analytical Cubism nagsugod siya sa tuig nga 1907 to 1912. So ang style sa analytical, mostly landscape, few figures, simple subjects, noticeable lack of color, earth tones, colors or tones with neutral associations. So analytical. So mauni siya ang example sa analytical sa portrait of Ambrose Vollard. Picasso gyud ni siya nga painting sa tuig nga 1910. So ang landscape ko sa analytical is simple. So, simple na siya, diba, nga tao, pero emphasize ang iyang geometric figures. So, iyang color is that dili kayo siya daghan ng color, dili kayo siya daghan kunti sa color kaning kuan siya, mura siya dark, as in simple ra iyang color. Earth tones. So, iyang tones is makita nimo nga, diba, black, gamay ra siya, dili ka siya light. So, colors are tone with neutral associations. So, sakto-sakto ra ang analytical cubism. While the synthetic cubism, nagsugod siya sa year 1912 to 1914. So, ang style sa analytical is vibrant colors, collage created, different materials that just canvas, referred to as blunt and straightforward, considered easy to read. So kaning nasa Picasso is mao ni siya ang painting nasa ni Picasso nga guitar during year 1913. So, vibrant colors. So makita na to nga ang synthetic cubism attractive siya kay daghan siya og colors nga gigamit. So makita na sad nato diri nga straightforward siya kay may makana gyud sa atong kagalingan. Ang message sa synthetic ang gipakita sa synthetic cubism is ang guitar. So mabasa na nimo mismo sa imong utok, ma-visualize na nimo sa imong utok nga kani nga painting, it's all about guitar, it's all about the figures of the guitar. So mao na siya ang synthetic cubism. So attractive siya compared to analytical cubism.
Cubism is like standing at a certain point on a mountain and looking around. If you go higher, things will look different. If you go lower, again, they will look different. It's a point of view. So, mauna siya ang sayings, quote of Pablo Picasso. So, ang Cubism kuno, mura kuno kag nasa buntod sa nagsaka ka og buntod. Kung naa ka sa babaw, lain mong pagtanaw sa ubos, diba? Nindot. Kung naka sa babaw, makita ni mo nga ang ubos ingana siya, nindot siya sa ubos. So kung naasad ka sa ubos, laisad ang imong panlantaw sa babaw. So it's your point of view on how you see things on earth. So mao na siya ang Cubism.
So, the other movement that we're going to tackle tonight is all about the Fauvism. It started year 1899 to year 1908. So, history of Fauvism. Fauvism was developed in France during the 20th century. It was started by Henri Matisse. The term Fauvism means wild beast, known as Le Fauves in French. The term Le Fauves was born when a painting Henri Matisse was shown at an exhibition at 1906 Salon de Auto. There were Fauvists, but Henry was one of the dominant figure. It was not exactly an art movement. So, ang term nga Fauvism means wild beast. Unsa man ang wild beast? Wild beast was a derogatory term used by the art critics for the style of a group of early 20th century modern artists whose works emphasize painterly qualities and strong color over the representational or realistic values of traditional art. The group of artists embraced the term. So mao kuno na siya ang kaning gigamit sa mga painters during sa 20th century nga gi-emphasize sa mga painters nga ang Fauvism is nagpakita siya sa qualities nga strong color over the representational. So, philosophy, essence, ideology. Oil pastels. So, ang Cubism, nigamit siya og mga oil pastels. So, it started when Henry experimenting with colors in painting. So, nagsugod jud ay ni Henri Matisse ang Fauvism movement. Emphasis on using pure colors without mixing or blending. So, ang Fauvism, pure gina siya. Wala siya laing gimix nga colors, wala siya laing giblend nga colors, kundi pure one color at a time. So, expressive and colorful style. So, diba, wild beast, so nagpakita sila og mga strong colors. So, colorful ang Fauvism movement. They painted subjects that evoke feelings of joy, pleasure, and comfort, so they always prefer to use intense color and vigorous brush strokes. So, ang gi-describe sa Fauvism is about the feeling of one person. Kanang nalipay ka, kanang thankful ka, kanang comfort. So, mas gipakita nila ang kuan sa tao, kaning feelings, gi-describe nila liri ang feelings sa tao. So, often left colors unblended when interfere 3D perceptions. Non-naturalistic colors. So, dili siya natural nga color ang gigamit, kundi mga hinimo pero pure colors. So, that is the essence of the Fauvism. Subject matter. Unsa man jud ang subject sa Fauvism movement. So, subject use are mainly landscape. So, landscape siya. Other subjects matter are portrait, interior, and nude. So, about portrait, nag-portray sa og feelings sa tao. Then, next, forms used in the paintings are simplified. So, nakita nimo mas simplify yun nila unsa ilang forms gigamit. So, lost the originality, exaggerated colors, and the subject matter. So, dili kinapi ang color, but original siya. Gikan gyud sila sa mga artist sa Fauvism movement. So, kinsa man ang artist sa Fauvism movement? Kung sa Cubism movement sila si Pablo Picasso at si George Braque ang major artist, so sa Fauvism daghan si Henri Matisse, André Detaine, Albert Marquet, Charles Camoin, Louis Vuitton, George Arnault, Kees van Dongen, and si Henry Evan Powell. Sumao na sila ang mga famous artist sa Fauvism movement. Next, characteristic of Fauvism. Use of color for its own sake as a viable end in art. Rich surface texture with awareness of the paint. Spontaneity, lines drawn on canvas and suggested by texture of paint. Use of clashing primary colors, playing with values and intensities. Varied subject matter, picking out elements of general scenes, landscapes, inside studios, and etc. The color on the object painted was the real subject, whether still life, landscape, and etc. So, ang Fauvism kuno nigamit siya og color para sa iyang own purpose or own sake. So, makita nimo siyang surface texture nga nindot gyud siya kanang attractive na ang siya kabaw gyud siya ug unsay dapat niya nga gamito or unsaon niya pag-present iyang Fauvism nga art. So makita nimo ang mga lines, mga texture ni gamit sa siyang mga primary colors nga nagpakita og values and intensities since ang Fauvism is gipaint para evoke describe sa feelings sa tao. So ang ihang gigamit nga colors, the clashing primary colors nga nagpakita og values and intensities. So varied subject matters, lain-lain iyang subject matter, whether genre scenes, landscape, inside studios. Then the color and the object painted was real subject. So tinuod siya nga gipaint kaning dili siya fake but a real subject. One of Fauvism's major contributions to modern art was its radical goal of separating color from its descriptive, representational purpose and allowing it to exist on the canvas as an independent element. Color could project a mood and establish a structure within the work of art without having to be true to the natural world. So mao kuno ni ang usa kuno sa nahatag or na-contribute sa Fauvism movement sa modern art is ang ihang radical goal nga color. So sa color, yes, agree. Color could project a mood. So sa color pa lang di ba magpakita man ang mood. Kung pananglitan ang color is a dark or dili ka siya light, naka-asad. Kung ihang color is kanang daghan ka siyang colors, daghan ka siyang mga color gigamit kanang attractive ka siya, makaingan ka colorful ang life. So mao na siya maka-project gikan pa lang sa color daan, nanatay made up mas sa ato ang utok, mao na siya ang gipasabot or mao na siya ang gipasubuot nga message sa painting. So another of Fauvism's central artistic concerns was the overall balance of the composition. The Fauvism simplified forms and saturated colors drew attention to the inherent flatness of the canvas or paper. Within the pictorial space, each element was played a specific role. The immediate visual impression of the work is to be strong and unified. So, one kuno ang central artistic concern gid sa Fauvism is ang balance. So, dili sila porket daghan na silang colors gamiton is magkuan na sa kaning dili mawala na ang balance. So kani siya ang Fauvism kuno simplified nga ang mga colors niya, yes, naghatag siya og attention, nag-drew attention siya sa mga viewers. So within that pictorial space, ang usa ka element, ang usa ka color na your role. Nganong gigamit ni siya nga color, nganong kani nga color, so naa siya purpose, nganong kana siya nga color ang gigamit. So next is above all, Fauvism valued individual expressions. The artist's direct experiences of his subjects, his emotional response to nature, and his institution were all important than academic theory of elevated subject matter. All elements of painting were employed in service of this goal. So above all, ang Fauvism gyud ang value yun niya as individual expression. Ang feeling sa tao, ang nature, kung giunsa nato response sa nature, and intuition. So maon na siya ang visualize or valued sa Fauvism. It's all about the nature, the individual's expression, and the paintings were employed in service of his goals. So gihimo siya nga painting, it's because naa siya one nga goal. So mao na siya nagpakita feelings sa tao, nagkuan og mga emotional response. Mao na siya ang Fauvism movement. Some Fauvism artworks. So ang kay Henry Matisse kay Woman with a Hat. So makita nimo ang babay nga naay hat. So next is Landscape near Chateau, painting by André Derain. So the Louvre Embankment, painting by Albert Marquez. So makita nimo na ay dagat sa kilid, na ay mga sakyanan. Makita nimo siya, no? It's all about how to response the nature. So these are the sayings from the Fauvism artist. So truth exists, only falsehood has to be invented. So ang tinuod jud, ang mga tinuod jud nga mga butang manggawas yun kay wa man gyud tinuod, wa man gyud aso nga makumkum. It's according to George Braque. Art must not be intelligent. Art is a joyness and enjoyment. So ang art dili ra na nagpakita about sa kanang nagkuan siya kaning unsa nimo, unsa ka bright pa nga nakahimo ka ng art. It's all about how you enjoy. Ang art dili lang kay kanang panindot lang na siya, dili lang kay, it's all about dili lang kay about lang siya sa kaning agi mo kaning art. It's because para ma-attract ang mga tao, para daghan kong fans. So dili siya, it's all about how you enjoy. Everything is an art. If you created it with a purpose, it's an art. So it's according to Andre Derain. We were always intoxicated with color, with words that speak of color, and with the sun that makes colors live. It's Andre Derain. It is the eye of ignorance that assigns and fixes an unchangeable color to every object. Beware of this stumbling block. This is Paul Gauguin. From the moment I held the box of colors in my hand, I knew this was my life. I threw myself into it like beasts that plunge toward the thing it loves. It's according to Henry Matisse. I don't paint things, I only paint at the difference between things. So mao na siya. It's also according to Henry Matisse. So that's all what is paintings for them in simple word.